Good day and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you're having a good day today. Is that better? Not super better, but well, a little better maybe. Look, we're 57%. Be nice if it. Just continued where I was. Hey, Jericho. I played this game yesterday or last time. Go. Got slaughtered. Amicon, I tried that. 10 Gen goes rogue. This is where I am. While the rights to Tetris seemed to be all sewn up, a new type of game machine was about to be released. Everyone was desperate to land the handheld Tetris race. I'm alright. Wasn't so hot yesterday though, but I did manage to do some offline recording after I started feeling a little better. Nintendo Mania launched its Famco console in the US as Nintendo Entertainment System. Do you remember that, Jericho? Or are you too young for that? 1988 Nintendo Mania was in full swing. Nintendo had sold 10 million NES consoles and captured 80% of the gaming market. Just not the hottest thing in video games, but across the entire toy industry. Summer CS at Chicago in '88. Nintendo's president and senior got hooked on playing Atari's Tetris. New 10 Gen would release the game for Nintendo Entertainment System that year, but secretly they were thinking something else. Look at that! Did you have one of those? Oh, you're born in '77. They're preparing to release its next game machine, a portable called the Game Boy. Knew the simple graphics of Tetris would be perfect for the Game Boy's small black and white screen, and easy to learn gameplay would make it perfect portable game time killer. You know what's interesting? Because everybody, including myself, assumed probably that was the first version of Tetris, but it'd been around for a while before that. Let's check out this video.
Game Boy was coming. I knew Game Boy was coming out. We'd heard this long before in '88.
Stephanie even knows what a Game Boy is.
I got on a plane in January and I went to Nintendo of America and met with Mr. Arakawa, and I said, Mr. Arakawa, what's your plan for Game Boy? I know you always have a policy to include a game with a new hardware. So what's your plan? And he said, well, I'm going to include Mario. And I said, well, I got a better game. It's Tetris. And he already knew about Tetris because people were playing it. I said, if you want little boys to buy your Game Boy, include Mario. If you want everyone to buy your Game Boy, include Tetris. And then you could always, afterwards still sell Mario and make the money off Mario. So he called in, I think it was Ken Lobb. He called in his experts and they all said, yeah, do that.
Hats off to Mr. A and the rest of the team and Nintendo, recognizing that this was transformative and a critical product to pack in because it was the perfect product to launch it with.
We made a deal. I shook hands on that. I didn't have the rights. I said, I'm going to go to the Soviet Union and get those rights.
That movie's based on, eh? There's the plane!
From, San Francisco to Seattle. Here we are. This is the new Nintendo, one of the new buildings.
Your building kind of looked like the NES.
New buildings. Okay, the first building you see should be the building where they manufacture, the Nintendo unit. Well, we have an appointment with Mr. Arakawa in 5 minutes, so actually we're a little bit early.
Look at that, he's videotaping it.
Let me introduce you to Mr. Ota. This is Mr. Ota from Nintendo of America. He's probably the most important Japanese person in America next to Mr. Arakawa.
That's not true.
So, this is a sample of the way Nintendo merchandises products.
Look at that, that's the history of your Nintendo. There.
This is Nintendo of America's customer support section. The first 2 rows down there answer letters and write stories for the magazines. Panning over here, we see people answering the phones, answering questions about the Nintendo machines. How many of them are there?
Now it's all outsourced, eh, Jericho?
Boy, probably right around 150 to 200 people. We're open from 4 a.m. until 10 p.m. So
4 a.m. till 10 p.m. Oh my gosh. Okay, and scanning around here.
Game counselors are all
How many
gone.
game counselors are there?
right around 82, and the numbers are growing.
This one's figured out how to
82,
play
and
the
these are
game and give
people who
hints to
answer
people for
questions
money.
about games and
How to play games.
Now you can just look it up on the
altogether
internet.
from that section down to here is all customer support.
All the way down here is all customer support.
Or, you know, ask a streamer or something like that. Sometimes, I guess.
Well, maybe in a couple of years this will
Definitely
be
does. See what they had to say.
Robert Stein, he was the closest to Moscow, and we were communicating by fax for the handheld rights. You know, he kept on putting me off, and you know, he sends me a fax. He says, I'm going to go to this whatever trade show in Germany, then I'm going to Moscow, I'll be there for a week, there for a week, then I want you to come. Why? You know, why do I have to come a week after you go to Moscow? What's going on? That was February of 1989. Then at that time, I got a call from Arakawa. I said, somebody, and that was Gilman Louie, had come to me and said that they could give me the Game Boy rights to Tetris. All the alarms were going off. There is, somebody else is dealing Tetris somewhere. I got to get it on my plane. So I said, Mr. Arakawa, Gilman is the one who came to Japan and said he could give me the rights, and turned out he didn't have the rights. So I'm about to get on a plane and go to Moscow and get these rights for you. Give me a chance to finish my job. He said, okay. With a tourist visa, 2 days later, I got on a plane, went to Moscow.
Like a big job, eh? Unbeknownst to Hank, 2 other men were also flying to Moscow to meet with Elorg about Tetris. Robert Stein wanted to lock down the rights to handheld and arcade games, and Kevin Maxwell of Maxwell Communications from Microsoft had decided to go as well to see if they could license those rights directly, which without involving Andromeda at all.
I get on a plane with a tourist visa, not knowing anybody or anything. There she is. The St. Basil. I had a video camera because I had no confidence that I would be able to describe what happened to me in Moscow. And so I was recording everything. Okay, the hotel from the outside, the Interest Hotel. Actually, it looks wonderful from the outside.
Are you feeling better? Oh, I'm a little better than yesterday.
My room in the Interest Hotel. Oh, look, there's even a mirror. There's a TV. This TV, I tried to plug it in last night. and sparks started coming out of the machine. This is Moscow.
How would you like to go to Moscow? Would you go there?
That's because it's pretty gray. Well, today I'm going to go out, see what I can find out. All I have is the game.
I don't think
with
so.
the
I think I
copyright
just
notice,
wasn't
and the
feeling well.
copyright notice says Tengen to Mirosov to Andromeda, from Andromeda to Elorg.
I think with food poisoning, it lasts longer. Well, I was still sick from before. Maybe it was that. I don't know.
of the time finding Elorg.
I'm like -5 right now.
I've spent about
Very
3
cold
hours trying
in
to
eastern
locate,
Canada, but
Elorg.
not west.
Watching video of Hawaii
What's the temperature there, Stephanie?
because the TV doesn't work, the radio doesn't work.
Look at him back in the day, eh?
I've read everything I could read. I'm waiting for phone call from Japan. They're gonna tell me where the Moscow Book Club is because I'm sure I won't be able to find out by asking people here.
My strategy was I was going to find a Go player in the Soviet Union. So I had gotten the address of the Russian Go Association. They made some phone calls for me, set up a Go game. And so the next morning, I had a chance to play
That's not too
Go
bad.
with the third strongest Go player in the Soviet Union. He was also a 6 dan, just like Mr. Yamauchi. And like my father, he's also a 6 dan. I got smart this time and I have hired a car. The next day, we hired a limousine. Driver in the mirror. I wonder if we can. Maybe it's too dark to see. So, what's your name?
Как зовут?
My name is
Victor.
Victor. I see. Okay. I get back to my hotel, and in the hallway of the hotel, all of a sudden I see an interpreter. And it's like, interpreter's like, oh my gosh, of course, I should hire an interpreter.
You know, to the left, you can't see us. It's
Skating
there is
rink.
one of the biggest swimming pools in Moscow.
But it's not a swimming pool now, I bet. It's a skating rink or something.
No, it's swimming pool. It's open all the year round.
And people swim there now?
Yes.
Wow. So I have a very lovely interpreter. And her name is...
My name is Allah.
Your name is Allah. And so I said to him, Allah, can you help me find Elorg? And she looked at it and said, oh yeah, I know where Elorg is. She knew that right away. And I said, that made me suspicious. It's like she already knew what I was looking for. In other words, the word had gotten around, this guy snooping around for Elorg, which I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm not supposed to be meeting any Russians. I'm only supposed to be there taking pictures of tourist attractions. That's it.
Oh, he's being sneaky. That's why there's a problem.
First, we went to the Go Club. The place where people play Go is inside of this big building where the Olympic Committee was. Whoa! What's this? Olympiada? Olympiski. It's where they have the chess club. They take their sports very seriously. We're going right into it. I'm impressed. I am impressed. I won that game. Problem with the Go player is he didn't speak a word of English. So he was absolutely useless. I couldn't get anything out of him, but I had the interpreters, it's fine. So then we went to Elorg. Okay, we're on the street here, where we just passed by the American Embassy.
Would you like to visit Moscow ever, Stephanie or Jericho?
Is Elorg. And I remember going up to the door of Elorg.
If you want a trip
This
or something?
interpreter, she goes, no, you can't go in there. And I said, what do you mean I can't go in there? I said, you're here on a tourist visa.
24, eh?
It's like, how do you even know that, you know? And I said, I didn't come all this way to stand in front of a door and then go back to Japan and get a visa so that I can go through this door. I'm going through this door. Are you coming with me? And she said, no, I can't go with you.
You don't? Why wouldn't you want to
I'm
go if
going
you
here.
want a
You
trip?
Wait here. So I just stood there in the lobby waiting for somebody to talk to me. Mr. Belikov comes down the stairs and I had my game. I said, I'm the publisher of this game in Japan, Tetris, and I'm looking for the rights to Tetris for handheld. And he looks at it and he looks at it and he says, what machine is this for? And I said, it's for Nintendo. It's a console. And he says, we never licensed Tetris for console to anyone. I'm like, holy crap. If somebody else picked up those rights, they could stop me from publishing and my in-laws would lose all of their land. So I was in some seriously deep kimchi at that moment. I decided,
Give
you
them
know
deep
what?
kimchi.
I'm going to focus on the mission that I'm here and I'll deal with this later. So I said, I would like to come back tomorrow and I'm here for the handheld rights. The reason I said the next day is because I wanted to make sure that they could get the right people in the room. So he said, okay, come back tomorrow. I'll meet you at 1 o'clock, blah, blah, blah. That was my official invitation right there.
An unexpected twist. That's... Crap. What happened? Oh, I'm backed out somehow. I was warming up. Must have pushed the wrong button. Who's this one?
The next day I went back. I get escorted into this room. On one end of the long table, there are 8 people, something like that, sitting on the other side. I'm sitting by myself on this side. And we're about
the
to
guy that
start
made
the
Tetris
third
on the right.
degree. And all these guys are suspicious. Like, who the hell are you? You know, how did you know? Because I came out of nowhere. I wasn't supposed to be there.
You looked really suspicious. From Japan with
I look-
perfect English. I mean, something really wrong.
Yeah, so I'm a Dutchman living in Japan who talks like an American. And by the way, my English is very simple English because I've been living in Japan for many years and I know how to speak English as a second language. So all these people are able to understand me. Anyway, there's like a lot
I
of
guess
negative
Stephanie doesn't
vibes
want to
coming
give you
from
an
the other
answer
side
to
of the
that.
table. And I could see his demeanor change as the conversation went on when he realized that I was a game designer. As I was explaining what my involvement was, I could see him visibly warm up. And I mean, the others, a couple of guys in there, I don't know, they're KGB or whatever they, you know.
Well, they are all, frankly, KGB, but they are not kind of field agents, so per
Yeah.
se. Mostly they sell weapons, I believe, to the other country. They have specialty in making contracts and follow the money and.
I can tell you this, nobody on the other side of the table, except Alexei, knew anything about computer games.
Oh, about computer games, no, but about the international trade, they probably.
They knew something. Well, if they did, they got totally spanked by Stein in that contract.
I don't think Robert Stein, he intended to misrepresent anything. You know, he was like a sole entrepreneur who's out there trying to make a buck by licensing products.
Stein shows up, which I knew he was going to be there. I just didn't know where or how. But what I didn't know was Kevin Maxwell also showed up.
They never meet each other. But Kevin Maxwell, Stein, and Hank was at the same time in Ilorg. So I met them all.
So now there were 3 people in Moscow at the same time trying to get the Game Boy rights.
We were supposed to have all rights, not just PC and Mac, but it kind of came out that I'm not sure Stein had all the rights that he needed with this Elord programmer.
We found out that Stein started selling the other platform, which we never considered.
I had pierogies for
were
dinner. Now,
furious when
you should
we
answer my
talked about
question.
this.
The deal that had been made was between Elorg and Robert Stein, which is Andromeda, for the computer. By the time this deal gets to Microsoft, they read the contract that says, the computer. Oh, that's everything. We got everything.
Up until that point, I thought we had all the rights, right? Because Stein represented that as such.
Stein had licensed arcade rights to Tengen, because they were an arcade company, and to Sega. And he didn't have those rights. And so the Russians say, yeah, you need to clean that up before we even talk to you about anything else.
He came and started crying and saying that he can't afford anything without this platform and that. We say, no, we don't want to even discuss it with you.
They came to me and they say, Stein is here. He's looking to figure out the arcade rights. What should we do? Rather than asking for a per unit or something complicated that you can't check, ask him for a big upfront money. And so that is the deal that actually ended up happening between Stein. That's how Tengen and Sega got the arcade rights.
I don't think Stein was being evil. I just don't think the communications, the faxing back and forth, the definition.
When
of
we
what
go to the
computing
place,
and
he said, 'cause it
console
doesn't
was
need fun.
covered at that particular time. Maybe he overrepresented what he had, but he wasn't a lawyer. He wasn't a contracts guy. He was trying to do his best to do one of his short deals, but he didn't have a big name Silicon Valley law firm behind him.
Stein wasn't publisher, he was an agent. All he's do is sub-license.
So Robert Stein came to Moscow and said, look, we're publishing this. You can either cooperate or you can try and sue Microsoft or whatever. And that's, of course, an impossible thing. There's no way that the Russian government is going to sue somebody outside the Soviet Union over intellectual property.
All this is brewing in one big stew. You had the Soviets and the Russians. You had the murkiness of the contract and the technical meetings of what was licensed and what wasn't licensed. You had Hank in Russia. You had Microsoft through Robert Maxwell, who was bigger than life character, kind of the Rupert Murdoch competitor of his era, who had strong relationships with the Kremlin. So he was trying to call in over the top, right, by engaging very senior levels of government to force the license to fall in favor of Atari and Microsoft.
Nobody on the other side of the table had any idea how big the game business was. They were taking the Russians to the cleaners. They were getting a percentage of a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. Just imagine this. Spectrum Holobyte has a quarter where they sell $100,000 worth and they pay $20,000 to Microsoft. That becomes income on the second quarter, $20,000. And from that $20,000, they pay Stein 20%, which is $4,000 in the next quarter. And then Stein reports that in the fourth quarter. So by the time the fourth quarter comes around, it's 20% of $4,000 at $800, out of this huge chain of money. So I said, look, the way I'm going to do this deal is you guys should not care how many sub-licensees. You are going to get a fixed amount of money from each unit that is sold. So I will pay you 25 cents per unit for Game Boy. No matter who sells it in the world, you will get 25 cents.
My dad was an honest guy. He could really say, I'm not the richest guy, but I will show you
That seems like a
exactly
good
how
deal,
much I'm
eh?
making. Here's an honest deal. Whereas before, they weren't getting an honest deal, obviously.
They asked me, so how many copies do you think you're going to sell? And I was thinking, if we're talking about packing it in with Game Boy, maybe 30 million copies.
No, come on, you was very moderate with your expectations.
Okay,
10
all right.
million, maybe 5 million, 10 million.
Oh, okay, say it's 10 million. 10 million times a quarter, that's $2.5 million. That is
Right there.
significantly more than they were ever going to make with all the deals that they had done up to the.
Totally other.
It's like, come on.
Framing.
We're more
They
modest.
asked me, when are you coming back to Moscow? And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, we need time to think this over. And I said, I either leave Moscow with the rights to handheld Tetris, or I don't. I leave without it. I'm not coming back. We don't have that kind of time. I made this very official thing, boom, and this, you have 1 week to answer me with
Letter of intent or something.
yeah, with a proposal, you know, and after that, this offer is null and void. I mean,
Hey, he's quite the negotiator, eh? And I think that Tetris sold like hotcakes too.
Good morning. It looks like
I think Moscow would actually be pretty fun, to be honest. There's some really nice places to look.
2 o'clock in the morning. Had a very interesting conversation about
I mean, you know, every place has its interesting places.
I'm sure we can have very fruitful relationships. I'm on my way now to 10 o'clock appointment with Hello Gear about obtaining the rights to handheld Tetris. We shall see.
in that meeting, we hammered out the basics of what a deal would look like. And I said, I'll get you a contract. It took 8 hours to make a phone call out of the Soviet Union to anywhere. I make the phone call to my lawyer in Tokyo. I do it before I go to sleep so that if they call me during the night, then I'll be there. And I wake up in the morning, sure enough, it takes about 8 hours. I said, okay, I need a contract. I have to explain every word, so it can't have any big words. It can't be more than 20 pages because I have a limited amount of time to explain this. It has to be a fair contract because I'm not going to have time to go back and forth. This contract has to work the very first time. And it has to satisfy Nintendo that we actually have the rights to Tetris. And you have 24 hours to create this contract, and here's the fax number. So 24 hours later, this contract appears. To them, they'd never seen a contract that was that fair.
Hank is very good partner. We decide that we want him.
And by the way, since then I found out they used that contract as the basis for all their contracts after that.
Including myself, I use this contract a lot.
So yeah, we signed a contract
For handheld?
for handheld on Friday. Then they asked me, would you like to do another contract for console? And I
Yeah.
said, sorry, but I can't. The company I licensed from, they're a big litigious company. I had read the Atari contract, and my lawyer said that there's a clause in there that says if we don't have the right, you have to help us get it. How the hell did that get into the contract? It's like, oh my God, this is litigation. I have to go back and figure out whether I can do this or not.
Man, they're dirty, some of them, eh? Belikov showed Rogers the original contract that Elorg had signed with Robert Stein's company Andromeda, which stated only granting rights for computers. Stein interpreted this to include game souls, but Elorg did not. Belikov now went with a meeting with Kevin Maxwell, who was there to attempt to negotiate the handheld and arcade rights on behalf of Maxwell Communications subsidiary company, Mirsoft. Belikov showed Maxwell the Famicom version of Tetris since he was unaware Mirrorsoft had licensed the home console rights. He had never seen this Japanese version. Maxwell said that he must be a pirated version. In the next meeting with Stein, Belikov asked him to sign a contract amendment clarifying that a computer was a device with a monitor, a disk drive, and a keyboard, things game consoles lacked. Stein signed the amendment, not realizing as he did this confirmed that all home console versions were unauthorized.
After the meeting, Alexei came to me and he asked me to meet that evening. Did everybody know that?
No.
At your hotel at 6 o'clock or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Meet me at the front door because I can't go into your hotel being a Soviet citizen unaccompanied. It felt a little clandestine, you know.
You want to show me something important.
I had brought with me a Sharp Famicom, and I had a little portable videotape player, tiny videotape, and it had a screen that had a RCA in. I wanted to show him Tetris on Nintendo. He'd never seen it.
Yeah. I tried to play. I was completely disappointed because it was a wrong hand. I play with my right hand and drop with my left hand, but with the joypad.
Yeah, joypad.
Yeah, it was different kind of disappointment, which I politely hide. But anyway. And probably the same day, maybe next day, we went to my apartment because I was desperate to show him my other games. He was the first professional game designer I ever see in my life. So basically, it was important to at least hear his opinion. Maybe he would be interested in publishing something or whatever, but what is important, I don't know. I am out of this world. So that's why I take some kind of risk to inviting him.
Saturday and Sunday, basically, we had no meetings. You took me on a tour.
Today is a wonderful day. We have done most of our business. Today we are sightseeing with Mr. Pajitnov.
Look at these guys when they're young, eh?
Building like a false teeth.
We are just about arriving at the Red Square.
Yes.
Or I should say the Kremlin. It's supposed to be 9 churches in one.
Look at that building. That's pretty amazing.
This is Mr. Alexei Pajitnov. He is the author of Tetris.
Play Tetris.
Play Tetris.
My friends.
Okay. That's it. Bye-bye.
So, you have to see my barb. I'm Russian people.
Beard. Beard.
Barb is in French.
I see. This is Arbat Street. There's a lot of free activity going on here, like music and poetry being read and art being shown. And here's the artist, and she's. Hi. Just bought a very nice little book from Arbat at Arbat Street.
And the next day he invite me to Japanese restaurant. I had no idea what Japanese people eat, and then I found out that I put in situation when I need to use wooden stick instead of forks, and moreover I need to eat the fresh uncooked fish, which kind of absolutely unthinkable thing for Russians. Fish is something you, for sanitary reason, you need to cook, overcook, and overcook again, you know. But he kind of showed me how to handle those chopsticks.
Look at that, teaching them how to eat sushi.
And then he showed me that this green stuff is really hot kind of spice,
Wasabi.
which could help me to swallow this uncooked fish and whatever. So basically, I managed to be okay.
You managed to be okay.
Yeah.
Guess what his favorite food is now? Sushi. You know, a little taste of Japan.
And strange restaurant, very fancy, but they don't manage to cook the fish, the most cookable kind of food out of anything else, you know.
Yeah.
You like sushi, Jericho?
That was another quite an experience for me. Yeah. Besides Nintendo machine, which is upside down device.
Those guys turn into good buddies, it looks like, eh? March '89, Hank. Turn to Moscow this time with Nintendo's top and America's top executive accompanying him. They worked out a deal with Elorg for the worldwide home console rights. Nintendo would create its own version of Tetris, published around the world, except for Japan, where BPS would continue to sell its Famicom version. Excuse me. And Stephanie told me before that she doesn't like sushi. But she's also told me she's never tried it. And didn't even know that there is some sushi options available where it is actually cooked. You know, like deep fried and stuff. But I think that if she tried the right sushi, she'd probably like it. Because, you know, there's a kind with the cream cheese and tuna and cucumber, you know, all these things that she likes, and it's cooked. After signing the contract with Elorg, Nintendo told Tengen that it could not ship its planned NES version of Tetris since they had the exclusive home console rights. They responded by asserting its rights were not in question and that it would move forward with its release. The companies would end up battling it out in court. Here's the Mega Drive. In addition to the popular arcade version of Tetris, Sega planned to release a home version for its 16-bit Mega Drive, known as the Sega Genesis in North America. It had manufactured hundreds of thousands of cartridges, which it planned to release on April 15th, but it did not release the game due to conflict over the rights. Looked like a beer. As various versions of Tetris continued to grow in popularity in Japan, BPS announced it would hold a Tetris tournament in April '89, Alexei's birthday. The famous Akira Radio Keiken building, the epicenter of Tokyo's otaku culture. Prizes included CD players, televisions, and Tetris t-shirts. Later ad featured photos and result of the competition, which featured 9 different versions of the game. Hey Stephanie, are you there? What about if you want a trip to Japan? Would you want to go to there? While the Famicom version of Tetris got off to a slow start, sales steadily increased until BPS sold out of its initial batch of cartridges. Released a new shipment of Tetris cartridges was such a big deal. They even took out a magazine ad informing eager buyers that the game would be re-released in April 28th. No, why not? What's wrong with Japan? Stephanie doesn't want to go anywhere. Japan would be really fun because they have their own Disneyland and everything. And Mario World. You know, Nintendo's Super Mario, they have a Mario World amusement park. You got all sorts of things in entertainment-wise. You got airplanes with Hello Kitty on the side. More Famicom ads. The Famicom version of Tetris continued to sell, and BPS created more and more unique advertising for its Japanese gaming magazines. These ads from June 89 through March 90. While legal issues were taking place behind the scenes, players just couldn't get enough of Tetris in '89. Not Harry Potter. Well, I mean, there's like one place with Harry Potter. Alexa, is Harry Potter planned in Japan as well? It's in Osaka. Stephanie, there's a Harry Potter land in Osaka. That's in Japan. So, you seem to be mistaken that there's not Harry Potter. So not only do they have a Disneyland, but they also have a Harry Potter land. And man, the Japanese, they go all out and everything. It's probably better than the one in Florida. While legal issues are taking place behind the scenes, player couldn't get enough. In '89, they had annual Excellence in Software Awards. Versions of Tetris took home trophies. Best Consumer Program, Best Entertainment Program, Best Action Strategy Program, Best Original Game Achievement. So not only does Japan have Mario Land that you can go to, Disneyland, but they also have Harry Potter Land. And Stephanie's like, oh, that place is boring. So now, Stephanie, what's your excuse now for not wanting to go to Japan? If you want a trip. Let's watch Pageant goes to Japan.
Japan is another planet, with another lifestyle, with another human behavior, weather, buildings, everything. You are really on the other planet there. Entire visit in Kyoto was kind of important for me. The second day, it was a short visit with Mr. Yamauchi. He was a normal kind of serious businessman, very polite, very kind of...
I mean, that guy did look like a salesman when he was younger.
We did have a good conversation.
Quite the hustler, I think.
Start with the apologizing that was a small kind of bug in the Game Boy Tetris, something with the probability of the pieces. We discussed how we fix it and decide to fix it. And then he gifted me with the electronic organizer. Absolutely stupid device of this time, but it was very fashionable. Complicated calculation.
I remember those electronic
screen which you could
organizers.
Something which died maybe 4 months after that. but I still keep this this strange device somewhere.
Now we got it in our phones, eh?
It was about maybe 30, maybe 40 minutes, kind of. And everybody was impressed about this meeting, and I still don't understand why. But what I was really impressed is to visit their warehouse. Huge building, 3-story building, 700 yards long, filled up with Tetrises. If you could imagine your creation in this amount, that was
probably pretty amazing.
The next night for sure. That's how I remember Kyoto for myself.
There's their meeting in Kyoto. Photo. There's 3 images here. Alright, let's see Tetris Game Boy. Stephanie's refusing to answer now, so we'll just go on with the video. Eventually she may type in a new excuse because Harry Potter Land is in fact also in Japan. Probably a better one. You know, where you don't have to pay 25% more because of the dollar difference, because Japan's money is actually worth less than Canadian money as opposed to American money.
The console versions were never quite as good as the Game Boy version.
I think Game Boy Tetris for me was like the game that I played the most. I think it was such a game changer, right? Because we're already playing the Famicom, like NES type games at home, but then now you can take that everywhere. I remember like going to Disneyland or going on
That was a
trips,
pretty
and we would
epic
have the
game though on Game Boy.
We would link it up and play together.
Game Boy looks for me like a device for Tetris, you know, by default. With the small screen, with the good resolution. Buttons work well, music was excellent. I did play Mario on it, but Tetris is much better on the Game Boy.
I don't even remember
Just
any other
my
games
opinion.
on the Game Boy, to be
I think
honest.
the Game Boy version.
I
was
I
probably
think
the
I
best.
played some, but I don't really remember them. That scratched up screen they got.
And I do remember that once it was a Tetris competition, and some schoolboy came to me to sign the cartridge. I signed, and he is glued into the Game Boy. I was very impressed with this. So for me, Tetris is really literally glued in the Game Boy. So if you remember Game Boy, you can't forget Tetris. Historically, they are together.
You played Stargate on it? I don't remember Stargate.
The heart level, if you push the certain combination when you're booting up the game, it goes to the heart levels. And the heart levels are way faster than any other level. It's so fast that if your piece drops, you cannot reach the side higher than 4 off the bottom. So that's how fast it's going. So
Did you ever
if
play the
wanna
heart
do a
level? I never even
Tetris,
heard about
you
that.
need to make the hole in the middle and hope that the long piece comes.
It does look pretty fast.
Oh, shoot.
I saw so many versions on home computers and other devices. So for me as a designer, it wasn't anything really exceptional. But it was a really decent, very good version. Probably that was the best version if to not take in account my own computer version, which was much better for me, of course, because I made it.
The original version there, eh? People say the Tetris made Game Boy, and some people said Game Boy made Tetris. I think both are true. And it made the deal that made our company's best friends forever. All the blocks moved in a circle.
Tengen
Big
was
10
gonna
gen
make
lost.
cartridges without paying Nintendo. They had reverse engineered the Nintendo cartridge. The Nintendo cartridge had a patented lockout system, a copyrighted song, which is a piece of code that all of the data would be passed through, and then they had the trademark, the word Nintendo, on the cartridge. Tengen had managed to get through all those three.
Did you reverse engineer the code? Did you do it properly? Because depending on how you figured out to jailbreak the machine, there were ways that if you did it through a black box, you can go off and do it. And if you didn't, you couldn't do it.
Nintendo was in court with them. That was going to take time. By that time, Tengen's first game would have come out already. What was their first game? Tetris.
You're gonna give us a copy, yes?
Tengen on Tetris.
But apparently, Tengen, in the creation of their version of Tetris, actually used some of the Nintendo code, which violated the rules of the black box.
Oh, they got caught.
So if they could stop Tetris, that would put Tengen back a long time. So I go back to Japan. I call Arakawa. I said, this is and this and this is what's happening. He said, get us the right to Tetris. What happens when Atari Games sues me? We will protect you. I was like, okay. So I found myself a month later. I'm back in the Soviet Union. I said, yeah, I'm ready to do a deal for the console rights. And do you need me to bring the president of Nintendo? And they said, yes. And they came on a clandestine mission. Everybody at Nintendo of America thought they were in Japan, but they actually flew to London and from London to Moscow. We went through a week of negotiation. So I ended up getting Nintendo the rights to console worldwide, and then they licensed back to me in Japan. So my in-laws' property stayed intact.
He bet his family's properties to basically buy all the cartridges or all the stuff they needed for the orders that they originally made. At the Summer Consumer Electronics Show that year, Nintendo ran a trade advertisement touting their NES version of Tetris that is currently creating, and noted that they had exclusive rights to create and release the home versions of the game. In '89, Nintendo released its version of Tetris for the NES, backed by extensive coverage of its in-house Nintendo Power magazine and television commercials. It was a massive hit for popular platform. This version alone would go on to sell over 5 million copies and still played today at the classic Tetris World Championship. Did you ever read Nintendo Power magazine, you guys? Stephanie never answered my last question. I don't think she's even here. Look at Weltress. Look, I can play Weltress. Released a follow-up to Tetris. Weltress was like Tetris times 4 and then fall down 2-dimensional. Moved around 4 walls of the well, and the original version Weltress was released by Spectrum Holiday but came to other platforms. Then how come you didn't answer my question about Japan? Because they have a Harry Potter land in Osaka. You know, you're not much of a conversationalist here. You know, usually you talk to someone and then you respond. Not Stephanie. And then after that question, I asked another question. Have you seen Nintendo Power read Nintendo Power magazine? It'd be different. Yeah, it'd be better probably in Japan. You know, Disneyland Japan is not different than Disney or Japan, or than Disneyland in Florida, you know, or Disneyland in California. They're all kind of the same. I mean, they speak Japanese there, but I mean, you know, you're not usually going there to converse with other people, right? Like, you don't talk to random people in Florida or LA either. You know, you meet the characters, you know, they don't talk anyway, most of them. And same thing with Harry Potter Land. You're going there for the amusements and seeing the Harry Potter stuff. I bet you the Japan one's better. Because Japan goes all out on everything. And plus you can go to Mario Land. You like Mario, and you know, you can play Mario Party attractions and stuff like that. Try this. The heck? Some figure skaters? Right. 7 points. Oh, you can put it like 3D. If we go there, maybe. You know, Jericho, you know why Stephanie wouldn't want to go to Japan is because she'd be away from modding for longer. But I bet you it'd be super awesome to go there. There's a way to drop the block faster. Oh, there we go. I don't know if it's the best strategy to. Oops. You probably would have a great time, but I think that I think that's the truth. Have you ever played this version of Tetris or Weltris? Kind of weird, eh? There's a 2. Three. No, it's a 5 over here. No, it's a 3. I thought it was a 5. You can't go outside because your foster sister and her husband are sick? As if you'd go outside anyway. Come on. Why does that stop you from going outside? They're sick, not you, right? Oh, crap. That, I guess. Go that way now. He said you can't even go outside due to them being sick. But they live downstairs. What are they, right in front of the door or what? You can walk past the door. To the garage. I'm not getting the connection here, to be honest. Sounds like you're making an excuse. Your boots are in the garage. Well, go get your boots in the garage. You're not going to be sick just because somebody in the house is sick. No, you won't. You can walk by sick people without getting sick. Just don't kiss them or stick your mouth on stuff. Just grab your crap and move on, you know? You don't have to linger. You just grab your stuff and then you're on with your day. Did you take any science at all when you were in school? Crap. There we go. We just saved it. You're talking about respiratory problems. You know what that means? That means you have to breathe in airborne stuff. You know, if they're not coughing right in front of you, then you're okay. That's why you don't have to even, you know, like they say that you don't have to even wipe down your grocery bags because it's not gonna get to you anymore. You make sure you cough up in the air and not elbow, as I like to sneeze on the door handles and remote control and television. So if you're in Jericho's house, then you got to be extra careful. But I mean, come on. Not being able to go in the same area. I mean, you know, guess what? During COVID, they had those notifications, you know, if somebody was, you know, contracted COVID and they were in a certain area, like certain stores, they had the contact tracing. They warned people you know, to be aware. You know, I was in an area where somebody had COVID, um, like a same pharmacy area, and you know, and never caught it because you know I didn't go around touching everything and you know, licking my hand after or something like that. You don't touch your eyes. You wash your hands lots. You know, you don't make sure you're just careful. You know, go get your boots. They didn't cough on your boots. How did I get sick? Because in an office environment, the air is recirculated. I got it through the air. Somebody was coughing like crazy. You know, nearby. But you know, if they're in their room or something like that, and you're grabbing your boots from a airy garage. I mean, it's a garage. I mean, Weltris is okay, but I mean, it's not as good as Tetris by any stretch of the imagination, is it? They're not in their room? Well, how come when you got sick, you were like banished to your room for like a month, and man, your family's ridiculous. They're gonna banish you to their room. The least they could do is hang out in their room, you know? But I mean, ultimately, even if they're not in their room, you can go right up to them and not get sick. You just have to not, just be careful. They're not coughing on you. You know, if they were polite, they would wear a mask um, to help your chances a bit more. But I put this one, eh? There. Man, you live like in constant fear of getting this. But I mean, it's like some of this stuff is ridiculous. Hey, the background change. You see that? Oh crap. I can't do that side. Crap. Ah, you're not taking a chance. Does your family know that, like they're literally imprisoning you by doing this kind of crap? Ah, man. Get 8 with your didn't want to take a chance. What do you think of Weltris here, you guys? Why don't you ask your nephew to go get your boots and put them up by your room, since you're afraid to go anywhere in your house? I think I got 2 ways there that time. Some of that angle is tricky. That's the big piece. Hey, look, there's some people. Oh, crap. Button. Made it. Getting faster. Excuse me. I mean, ultimately, you know, at some point, you're going to get sick. No matter how hard you try not to, it's going to happen. Ah, crap. Oh, look at this piece. Oh, look at that. It's Brian Adams or something. Getting fast now. I don't know where to put that one. Oh, we lost. We're at the high score. Let's watch the video of how he made it.
Everybody want to do 3D Tetris. And it was a version of 3D Tetris called Blockout. And I really hate it.
Hank Rogers plays Blockout. First time try to play this.
I realized that immediately that it's too much pressure for human mind to deal with this strange mainframe kind of shape of the pieces and whatever. It was possible to play for maybe 5-10 minutes, but then you kind of get away.
This is Andrei Sneyer, the main programmer in Docker company.
Made the first well-dressed prototype.
One of my friends do a very good prototype. I don't even remember what the game was about, but he kind of have a very good design of this weld, kind of three walls on the bottom. So I decided that for Tetris it would be very interesting to try.
Make each Tetris screen be a side of a wall and have the pieces fall, and you can go around the side of the wall.
Shape of the field delivered a really strong feeling of 3D, but it doesn't spoil the game with the overloading mind. That was very important.
Dang, ads!
It very interesting kind of phenomena happened with the piece at the bottom on the edge, partially on one and partially on the other. It kind of splits on the bottom.
It was addictive as a natural sequel.
I don't know about that game, eh?
Weltris won an award at SBA the following year after Tetris.
And Blockout wasn't there.
Hey, he went to the US for the first time in January of 1990. He began at the CES show in Vegas. Left him wondering if this was a typical American city. You ever been to Vegas, Jericho? He visited Spectrum Hall Bite in San Fran, Nintendo in Seattle, MIT in Boston, and Hank in Hawaii.
I do remember that one of my first very original game, I called it Crowd. Later it was published under the name of Modeled Casino in Microsoft Entertainment Pack.
Alexis puzzles usually stimulate the mathematical mind, and Mud, this new game, is a good example. Your task is to put them away from the field from this small window. In this order, this will be first, but the game suspected model was locked from all displays.
You have this crowd, and you call them either to left, either to right, either up, either down, but every time the different subsets going on. You model them, and you miss them a lot while you operate with them.
The goal is to get all the objects out of the box. They can only be moved in groups. If you put together spades and clubs, or diamonds and hearts, you can move a group to the right. Selecting all green backgrounds or all orange ones lets you go to the left. To go up, you have to choose between circles or squares. To go down, you have to mix red and black suits. If you think you're confused, now I have to do it. And now put the circle up. Enough? But now I want to separate that guy.
Wonder if we get to try model.
Down. Oops. That's not a good idea, I bet. It took intense concentration to avoid getting stuck. I could see this game was geometry, logic, and strategy, all rolled into one.
You made it.
Okay.
You see, this
Yeah.
game is rich enough. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's true. It's
I
true.
like it very much, but maybe it's a little bit complicated.
Right now, I understand why you call it muddle, because my mind's kind of a muddle right now.
That was my very first, very original game which I produced. For me personally, the best kind of pleasure is the pleasure of intellectual activity. So this kind of pleasure I would like to present to my customer, to my players.
February 21st, 1990, you released a soundtrack CD featuring arranged versions of Tetris music. And NES, now Game Boy craze continued to sweep the US and held nationwide competition called Nintendo World Championships. Beginning in March, in 29 cities, players would test their skills on a custom Nintendo cartridge, which they had to play portions of games Super Mario Bros., Rad Racer, Tetris, aiming for high score among all games. In March 1990, the Russian center of San Francisco held a Tetris tournament, with the grand prize being a free trip to the USSR. Soviet Vice Consul Eugene Fokine in attendance to witness 22-year-old programmer Kevin Warner defeat 22-year-old physicist Shane Dykman to take the title, as reported by the San Francisco Chronicle. On June 17, 1990, the LA Times reported that 4 million copies of Tetris had been sold in the United States so far, 150,000 from Spectrum Holobyte, 15 million NES, and 2 million copies of Game Boy. And here's Hatris. Let's try it out. Oh, that's kind of interesting, eh? I've never played this game before. Swap them? Echoath, thank you for the bits! Much appreciated. Hope you're doing well. Oh, look at that, we got a Hatris. Canada lad, eh? Right. Oh crap. This is the junk pile, eh? Got hats everywhere. Wonder if you can keep going and move it around after. Oh, you can. Do you like this game, Stephanie? What do you think of this? Like Tetris kind of, or Dr. Mario or something. See here, I've been to watching this lad so long since Mixer. That's awesome then to see you here. Not really. What are you talking about, not really? I think this is fun. I like organizing hats. Oh crap, I can't get it over. Oh. I guess I could have went the other way. Oh, wrong one. Whoops. BRB, Stephanie says. There we opened up that one hat again, eh? I like playing Hat Triss, it's fun. Good time to be Hat Triss. Oh crap. Stephanie doesn't like organizing. Here she keeps her boots in the garage. You see that move? That was a pro move, if I say so myself here. Worked out. Oh crap! Went too far. Oh, we're lucky. Oh, we got a new hat. Careful. Back, welcome back. I'm still organizing hats. Uh-oh. That wasn't the best way of organizing them, I guess. You gotta stack them. You get lots in a row. See? Wonder Bar! Hey Jericho, look at this. That pro hat stacking or what? This is called Tetris. Imagine that. Nowhere I can really put this one. Oh crap. Ah. I'm setting myself up for failure on that one side. Hey, Neff, I didn't know you were here earlier. Dang it. Oh, there we go. Made it to the next level. Bring poles back? I didn't even know you could do poles on this. Crap, I couldn't put that up there. Oh, there's a crown now! I don't think I'm even chance here now. Good, I got 9th place. Get how to play it now? I'm a professional hat stacker here. Oh crap, got it backward. Not that professional. Maybe we can recover. Yeah, you gotta get so many in a row, eh? It's actually pretty tricky. Ah. Like, kind of a little bit trickier than matching up, though, you know, like, because they keep stacking. And they add more hats. Be really on top of it. Oh. Got these other hats everywhere now. You see that power move? Fast. Sound good. There we go, got a sale going. Now we get a new hat. Now it's kind of tough. Getting these hats organized, you know. Oh, wrong spot. Crap. And that really messed me up. Oh, I guess I could have went down with that one. Oh well. Still doing alright. Now we gotta have an extra hat. Well, that wasn't good. Ah, can't get it on that file there. Oh. Ah. Dang it! Rather than simply advertise Hatchers on its own, they took out a series of ads in Japanese game magazines advertising the entire line of puzzle games, Tetris, Hatchers, and a game called Pipe Dream, which had licensed from LucasArts. These ads in various configurations ran June 90 all the way through 91. Here's Tetris for Game Boy. Let's see what the Game Boy's difference is. Think the Game Boy's version better? Kind of the same, eh? A little more simple graphics. Oops, crap. Good music. Oh, I should have flipped that. Would you play this one on your Game Boy? Stephanie didn't like it. Don't like nothing. Harder to tell the shapes on this one, though. Think about it for a second. Gotta put that higher one down first, eh? Mexican hat there. Ah, crap. Messed up. Oh no, there's two side by side. Crap, I went down too quickly there. Looks like the big Rick Walker Ranger hat from Walking Dead. Now we got like a weird, I don't know what kind of hat that is. Weird hat. Oh crap, I could have went there too. Ah. That one, it looks like a Christmas tree on this game. These hats never come along. Well, it eats the rope. Can't believe it! Now what shenanigans is gonna give me? Boy, I'm lasting forever here, eh? Really good at this game. I can do both here. Oh. Yeah. Ah. Lots of errors, I guess. Oops. Button there. Oh, we just made it. That row. Ah, crap. There's a snowball or a Christmas tree thing coming up. Can't even get over. Dang it all! Look at my score, too! July 1991 magazine advertisement for the US version of Tetris on Game Boy. Notice the creator of Tetris has done it again. Since NES and Game Boy did not have versions of Weltris, this is the next game in the series for console players. Series advertisements ran in July and August. Issues Japanese magazine ran up to Tetris' release in Japan. And then here's the NES version. Oh, look at these guys. You put the hats right on them. Version's kind of fun. Put the hats on a conveyor belt. Look at that, Frankenstein's now. Oh, it's a different hat. Ugh. Struggling there. That sucks. Easy to push down by accident. They're like Charlie Chaplin or something. This is Stephanie's favorite version, probably. Alright, I was coughing like 10 minutes ago. Ah, I got it backwards. Crap. I got it backwards again. Crap. I make things harder for myself, don't I? Oh, I got it backwards again. Don't have any white ones, eh? Shoot! Oh. Yeah, I didn't know you could even do that. They're vampires now. Hey Stephanie, have you ever seen a vampire in real life? What would you do if you ran into a vampire in real life? Then what would you do after you're done being scared? What happens if the vampire was in your house, though? You don't leave your house, so you'd probably run into them at home. Oh crap. Yeah, but dogs don't, they like vampires. How big's your dog? Is your dog like really that unfriendly? I thought you just had little dog. You're talking about you have a dog as your solution to a vampire being in your house and your dog's the size of a pug? What's it gonna do? Snort at it? Man, that threw me off a bit here. I gotta back. Barks. Vampires aren't scared of little dog barks. You ever see the Lost Boys? No one's afraid of a pug. No matter how loud it barks, you can tell by hearing a dog that they're not a big dog. What would your foster mom do? Get bitten in your place? Big girl, you throw you to the vampire. That'd be it. You don't think she would? Every person for themselves when there's a vampire involved, you know. Yeah, man, there's like double hats. Oh, I should have just left it there, I guess. Oh, crap. Went too far. A lot of this is self-inflicted here. You think you could wear 10 hats on top of your head like that? That's a lot of hats. You ever like wearing hats? I don't wear hats very often. Oh crap, didn't mean to do that. Ah. Watch time. That shouldn't count as game over. Rip. Faces, Tetris. Or Faces, Tetris 3. August 90. Spectrum Holobyte, his own take on Alexi's swap and drop concept called Faces Tris 3. Players were challenged to complete pictures of human faces from facial parts that fall down from the top of the screen in pairs. Faces was only released for DOS, Amiga, and Macintosh computer platforms. Was not released for game consoles. An ad here.
I did a game called Swap and Drop. The fragment of the pieces, which kind of in pair goes down, and you could swap them and shift together. That's how it worked. And we did two different games out of it. Tetris with the heads, those heads going this way, and you need to collect the pile of 5 heads, and they have different property. I like Tetris very well, and hand published it for Nintendo, but for Nintendo it didn't, for Famicom it didn't work very well.
Nobody bought Tetris.
Don't remember very big sales on it. Some team did it with the faces. Spectrum Holobyte published this game.
The swap and drop framework was a good framework, so it didn't take us much energy to figure out how to tweak it so that it was right. Pieces would come down, and you have to make sure a face is stacked in the right order. So you have the mouth, the nose, the eyes, and the hat or the hair.
And if you don't do the face and have kind of 4 eyes, for example, that's a failure.
You get bonus points if you complete the face that is the intended face versus a random face, different slices of different people's faces. Very simple concept. Also move progressively faster and faster. We knew that players were trying to optimize to get the perfect face. That ultimately worked against you. Because if you were getting the perfect face, you were creating new problems over here on the other sides of the stack. And that's part of the kind of the game mechanic for that particular game.
I didn't like it very well, this faces idea. It didn't fit my feeling that we could play with human faces this way. But they were very fascinated to put Gorbachev with Thatcher eyes and Gorbachev kind of bold stuff and whatever. Wasn't very successful, but probably broke even.
Huh, I never heard of that one. After another trip to Consumer Electronics Show in '91, Alexei moved to America that month, signing a 3-year agreement to produce games for Hank's company, Bulletproof Software. His family followed a few months later. USSR officially dissolved in '91, major geopolitical event. Repercussions around the world under the leadership of Belikov. Elorg was transitioned from a government office to a private company. The world had discovered Tetris, and it would never be the same. While Tetris is now selling millions of copies around several platforms, the question remained, where would Tetris go from here? Now we're on chapter 4. And I don't know, I only explored 57%, so maybe you gotta click on the pictures. I don't know. Video, zoom. That's 67%. There you go. Anyway, I'm off to bed. Gotta work. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Have a good night.